Hey, what's up guys, KGCEpic here. Alright, so I had a video of the top 5 coolest level fruits. Now it's the top 5 strongest level fruits. Now, number 5 on my list is the level of fruit. The reason why I put a level of fruit as number 5, the concept of the level of fruit is just fucked up. If you think about the fucking level of fruit, it is just fucked up. If you love anything about the person who has the level of fruit, you turn into solid stone at the end of the day. Honestly speaking, being like in the ownership of fucking Boa makes it a double cannon at the end of the day. In terms of like, it's just fucked up. Boa is a very lovable person in terms of her looks and stuff like that. Plus, she has a level of fruit, like I said, double cannon. Honestly speaking, cause it could be the way she walks, the way she talks, her hair, her bosoms, her smile, any fucking thing, and you're fucked. Honestly, that's why I put it as the fifth strongest fruit right now because it is fucked up. I'll tell you another thing. Boa is one of the I think she was the first pirate that at the end of the day, when she started to be a pirate, she only fought once. I think she had only one encounter with the Marines, and then they invited her to be a warlord because they realized that the devil fruit is so fucked up. Boa could just go on a pirate ship and use her level of fruit, and everybody on the ship will get fucked up. The only how I think you can negate it, you could probably use hacking. You could definitely use hacking to negate it, right? You could use hacking to negate it because hacking has its own fucking manipulations over the environment and the laws of physics and stuff as we know it, right? So you can use hacking to negate it, I think. I'm not sure if Marshall Lee teaches Yami Yami no Mi could unpetrify people, but you should be able to use like the probably the barrier fruits, I think. I know for a fact you could use the Yami Yami fruit to avoid being petrified. But I'm not sure if you can undo petrified people already, but it's really fucked up. It's a fucked up fruit. Because honestly speaking, it must have something about this person that you actually admire in any form or fashion, especially if they carry themselves in a fucking type of manner. Anything enviable about them, especially the fact that she's a fucking warlord, the most beautiful one in the world. All these things are envious titles at the end of the day. Even if you're a dude and you're thinking to yourself, whoa, honestly speaking, I wish my wife was the most beautiful woman in the world. I can't believe boy is the most beautiful woman in the world. You'll get petrified by it. That's just how fucked up the level of fruit is. So that's why I put it as number 5 on this list. Honestly speaking, it deserves to be on this list, so I put it as number 5. And it's an AoE fruit. It's not just a fruit where you have to walk up and touch people. It's just like a pink wave, and you get fucked up. I see another way to dodge it. You can stab yourself and distract yourself. Honestly speaking, I've seen a vice admiral do it when they were trying to when Luffy was sneaking aboard the ship with a boa. Yeah, I've seen a vice admiral do that. Number 4 on the list is Trafalgar Law's fruit. Trafalgar Law's fruit that has the ability to manipulate the space around it. As long as he opens his room, the space around him is he's free to manipulate as he wants. He can splice stuff. He can honestly speaking, remove stuff from the confines of the space or dimension it exists in and let it exist in another dimension while still adhering to the physics of the original dimension it had existed in prior. Honestly speaking, that's like when he takes up people's hearts and it's still beating as if it's in your chest, but your heart is technically in his hand at the end of the day, and he can squeeze your heart as much as it wants, and it won't pop or bust or anything at the end of the day. He can teleport. I've seen him teleport before. Um, like I said, you can splice stuff in terms of like you could cut off your arm and attach it to another person, and cut off a sheep and attach it to a building and all that shit. And he has the title of the Dark Surgeon because he likes to fuck with people's bodies and minds and shit at the end of the day. Every time he uses his fruit. Honestly speaking, I think it's one of the strongest fruits out there. Honestly speaking, and if Law continues to grow and gets stronger haki and like is better in terms of using his sword and stuff, it's gonna be really, really awesome for him. Um, number three goes to a fruit that I do not know the name of. Right now, this fruit is a fruit that was rumored to be owned or actually in the possession of Goldie Roger. That was a fruit to be able to manipulate time, right? Because they said that Goldie Roger had the ability to see into the future, which means that he either had a devil fruit, um, to manipulate time, or probably somebody on his crew had the devil fruit to manipulate time because they said he was able to see into the future and write like premonitions and stuff that do come true and that sort of stuff at the end of the day. So which means that he had something at his disposal to like peer into the future and manipulate time. I'm thinking that that devil fruit is probably really OP. Because if you have that devil fruit, that means you can fast forward time, you could reverse time, you could probably even make yourself immortal if you know what you're doing with the devil fruit. You can like speed up yourself and like you're fighting in fast forward where everybody's fighting at normal speed and that kind of shit at the end of the day. That's why I put it as number 3 because I'm thinking that devil fruit is gonna be really OP. Number 2, I have the Gura Gura no Mi. It's originally owned by Edward Newgate, which is Whitebeard at the end of the day, and it's now owned by Marshall D. Teach. It's a quick fruit. It's the strongest Paranesia fruit. Basically, you punch the air and creates quicks in the environment, quicks throughout the earth, quicks throughout the atmosphere, and the Marines do have a theory that if you use a quick fruit enough at max strength, you could destroy the world if like no one stops you. Honestly speaking, and they did fear Whitebeard because they thought that he had the ability to destroy the world. Because Whitebeard used to just like land on islands and just sink the islands in like one punch and that sort of stuff. That's how powerful quick fruit is. And number 1, I have the Yummy Yummy Nomi, which is the original fruit owned by Marshall D. Teach. It's a fruit that has the ability to steal other devil fruits' abilities, negate devil fruits. I'm not sure what else it can do. But honestly, I've seen it steal other devil fruit abilities and negate devil fruits. And it's said to be the strongest Logia type fruit and the strongest devil fruit in the world, I think. Because I know there are 3 types of devil fruits, right? There is Zohan, which is supposed to be stronger than Paranesia. Paranesia is supposed to be the weakest type fruit. And there's Logia. Logia is supposed to be the strongest out of all the fruits. So in terms of strength, it goes 1 Logia, 2 Zohan, 3 Paranesia. And that's how I know it, right? So if it's the strongest Logia type fruit, that makes it the strongest devil fruit in the world. And it's owned by Marshall D. Teach at the end of the day, which is Blackbeard. It's a really cool fruit. Honestly, Blackbeard went from a nobody in Whitebeard's crew to a fucking Yonko just by eating the fruit. So that's just how OP it is. Because Ace was by far a better fighter and like a better person in terms of hacking and stuff than Blackbeard. And he was still defeated by Blackbeard, and Blackbeard took minimal damage. Blackbeard was not even like in intensive care or anything after fighting Ace. And he was able to completely render Ace useless. Ace's flames were useless before the fucking Yummy Yummy no Mi. And that is just how cool that fruit is. And that fruit is titled as the strongest fruit. So guys, thanks for watching. Like and share, especially if you do agree with my list. Check out my other videos, and you know, as usual, stay epic.